Hi, I'm Romy Ries. I'm working at the Chair of Brewing and Beverage Technology at the Technical University of Munich, and I'm part of the Weihenstephan Standards team. In this short video, I'd like to show you how you can add vendor or project-specific data points or objects to your custom information model, and if you need more specific types, how you can derive and define your own subtypes. Sometimes it's maybe necessary to add additional data points or objects to the information model because the machine provides additional information or contains additional components that are not currently included in the information model. To realize these, two different use cases should be considered. If it's a variable or an object, which is, for example, only available in raw cases and maybe only used in one single cooling tunnel, for example, the cooling tunnel shell, it makes sense to add this variable or object directly into the instance. If it is an information which is available in most cases, it makes sense to define here an own cooling tunnel type, which can be used then for all cooling tunnels in all lines. I would like to show you both possibilities now. First, I want to show you how to add a data point to an instance. So we go to the corresponding object, for example the cooling tunnel shell here, and add a new node. So we go add instance, enter the name of the variable, so let's say important variable. It is nodeless variable, that's fine. It is in our namespace for our instance. It has component reference. We need a type definition. Let's say it's a measured value, so we're going to have an analog signal variable type. And the data type is a float. Okay. So now we have added these new important variable to our cooling tunnel shell in our instance, my molding plant. The same procedure do with additional objects. Let's say we have a special FC motor inside our cooling tunnel, which we have defined and want to know something about. So we go add this object, select the right reference, so it has component reference, and the type definition, and as we know, we have FC motors already defined in the WS Suites information model. We can select the WS FC motor type. Okay. Now we got this new object here, the special FC motor, and the new variable, the important variable. You now have your two new nodes only in the cooling tunnel shell. If this both informations or this one component and the one value is always available in each cooling tunnel of each line, it makes sense to define your own data, your own cooling tunnel type. Therefore, you first check the type definition of the cooling tunnel. As we remember, you can scroll down and see the non-hierarchical references, and then you get the type definition of the cooling tunnel. In this case, it's the WS Ambient Air Conditioning Station. Let's jump to it. Here, now you see the definition of the WS Ambient Air Conditioning Station type. If you now want to derive your own ambient air conditioning station type, you have to use the right namespace. As it is derived from our type, but not defined by us, you can't use the same namespace, which is namespace 8 for the ambient air conditioning station. That is our namespace. But for all types which are derived from our types, it is advised to use the registered namespace, what you can register at Weihenstephan-Standards.com. So you have there's no namespace at the moment, so we add new namespace here, which would be in this case Weihenstephan Standard.com / my sweets company. Okay. So this would be the right namespace to define derived types, machine or component types. Now you can define your own type in these Weihenstephan Standards.com my sweets company namespace. So how are we going to do this? Going back to the WS ambient air conditioning station type, select add new object type, give them a namespace. We advise, but it is only a proposal, to give them a prefix to make it easier to find. So in this case would be maybe MSC ambient air conditioning station type. It is an object type. That's the right namespace for defining these types, and has subtype reference. Okay. So now you got something to repair. Okay. We now have our new ambient air conditioning station type here, and can add our additional important variables or objects directly in the type. Go here, add the child, enter the name of the variable, it's a variable. This has component reference. Let's make it analog signal variable type and a float. Okay. And also add some new important FC motor. It's an object. It has component reference and is an FC motor type. Okay. Now you can also set the modeling rule. So if this information or these nodes are always available, then select mandatory. So have a look, where is it? Here it is, the important FC motor, our new variable, important variable. So if you select mandatory, it's always there. Otherwise, it stays optional. Well, let's say these both are mandatory. Okay, we can now go back to our machine and select our new derived type for the cooling tunnel. Cooling tunnel. So there's the cooling tunnel. Cooling tunnel bottom. This one was the one we configured before, but in this case the cooling tunnel does not have any important value or important new FC motor underneath. So if we go now and change, and you can see already here our derived ambient air conditioning station type. So we can select these. Okay, and you immediately get the additional information here. So the important FC motor and also the important variable. As you also can see, you cannot change these type definition of the cooling tunnel into any other types, but only into the types which are derived from the ambient air conditioning station type.